All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this end of the week, Friday, January 8th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Just did a quick sound check for all of us inside the live trading room. Should be good to go across the board here, and that includes for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. So welcome on back to those of you folks. All right, so let's hop right into it. We ended up seeing the Dow break lower heading into the early afternoon. The only news that I ended up really seeing when I came out, I see the headline, Fed's Clarita says slow vaccine distribution is a concern. Well, that could be a potential reason as to why the market's dropping off. I'm sure there could be more to it aside from that, but otherwise, just very quickly looking at the Dow now, made a nice bounce pretty much right around that 3,005 level. It was just about, generally held over it, but ended up making a nice spike around that low, ended up pushing back up nicely towards just about 31 here. So for right now on the board, though, TRXC on the screen at least, heading into the afternoon, making a nice push. Definitely a cheapy level one stock, trade a lot of shares of it, or perhaps you could have from before. I know for a stock that's up 24%, that's not really up a whole lot percent-wise compared to what we typically see in the mornings, like an LMFA or, a lot of these from earlier in the week. So is it to say that the stock can continue pushing up? Of course. There's certainly potential, but as of right now, though, it still has made a very big move thus far. So just be careful on this trade. I'd say watch to trade the stock on like 5-cent increments, pretty much 110 to see a lot of sell off around that price. Make sure that could hold. If that breaks down, look to see if it can make a higher low from around 105. It broke out from there pretty much just before. So for the meantime here, it's level one. I'm not that concerned about the volatility, but these stocks die off quick. You don't want to get caught slipping. You trade a lot of shares, and if you get caught slipping, then that's where it ends up becoming a bigger loss. So for right now, TRXC will definitely just put this on our main list to begin. All right, so aside from that, though, I got to say, really from yesterday, we had one of our most active trading days, the last couple of years, at least, as far as I've been here. And I say that from start to finish, really. From the market open, we had a whole array of stocks that ran up and down and moved with the market, ended up running off of news. We ended up seeing stocks in the afternoon do the exact same. And, it's usually one or the other. So, heading into today, I wasn't expecting much of anything. Typically, the next day, if you have a really hot day, it's cold, not much of all. So, to say that we had a pretty active day is, again, an understatement. It's incredible to see the volatility that we've had these last couple of days here. So let's go through a couple of stocks briefly that we ended up trading. And, really from there, as always, we'll go from top to bottom. And nowadays, I guess we'll kind of also include our Bitcoin crypto minute here as well. We'll show Riot Mara as we go through. We'll show our Bitcoin to USD chart. I loaded up. Jagex, though, heading into the afternoon, we would have, found this anyway, just number 5 or 6 on the gainers list here, number 7. But right now, still making a push up towards the highs. So while I have it up here, I'll go on Benzinga Pro. Just look at the news feed here very quickly. So Fausto was asking about this earlier. I copied and pasted. That's right. This was from actually Wednesday earlier this week. I didn't really see much news to come out from this morning from today. Just give me a quick moment, folks. Pardon me briefly. Copy and paste for all of us on social media, so they just get on the recording first. Then for all of us inside the live trading room, you see the news feed right there, the headline. So yada yada yada. But nonetheless, though, Jaguar, we've been following this. Before Wednesday, so I'm sure there's more to it even aside from this headline as well. But again, I like to say yada 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 because it's above my pay grade, let's be honest, and above a lot of our pay grades. Either way, we don't throw a dart on the wall and hope it lands based on news. We ended up seeing this make a huge spike up the following morning here on my daily chart. Well, it ended up dumping off for a couple of days after, right? Hasn't really made a concise move until the following day, that being yesterday, and obviously now it's broken out much higher Friday. So, for the close, definitely going to put this on our main list. Keep this alongside the TRXC here for the afternoon. It's been a great trade so far off of the 360 level. Ended up holding support there nicely, ran up to make a higher high later on. So, yeah, for the meantime, definitely. I'd say otherwise 450 major resistance. That's needless to be said, I feel like, for all of us inside the live trading room. But on top of that, though, notice on the order book, an 90,000 share order on the ask at 440. So you could see it pretty, filled up on the ask right there. A lot of sellers around that 440 to 450 range. All right, quick water break there. Now we jump over to the Lmfa stock. We were talking about this earlier heading into this meeting. So LMFA ended up making a huge pop, as you could see, right around 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Got halted on the way up. Ended up making a huge run up once it reopened up, which is pretty fortunate. So a lot of times once a company gets halted on the way up, it's not guaranteed it's going to make this continuation. And I say that not just off the reopen here, but as you could see, the volume died off. We saw people take profits. It ended up bouncing off of $1 here. I ended up jumping in. I didn't post in the trading room. It was like for 4 cents, in and out quick. It's the type of stock again that you could jump in on a lot of shares on. So I felt happy with the profits and post in the room. And now at this point, I'm certainly happy I didn't post in the room. Look at this thing now. I guess I said it to you folks now. I left a fortune on the table after this ended up, moving up after I got out. But nonetheless, though, ended up leaving for a lot of opportunity on this trade up towards the high of the day, 170. Heading into the afternoon right now, it's kind of dancing around 150, which, for the meantime here, it's traded a lot of volume. So for the afternoon, I'm not as keen to just put this on our main list yet. If it ends up making a clean break over 150, we see a lot more buying over that 150. And more importantly, not just to say that, a combination of two things here. A, the holding over 150 as support, and then the higher high after. Breakout high of the day over 170. That's what I'm looking for. So, we'll check back in with this trade perhaps at the very end of this meeting, maybe just after we run through some stocks across the gainers and losers first. All right. Let's go through two more, and then we'll actually just do that. FCEL. I don't think we would have found this on the gainers list at this point. It was up big in pre-market once again with Plug. Both of them pretty much moving similarly across the last many months. We've called that out. But of course, here in pre-market, pushing up nicely. Why not focus on this trade leading into the open? Probably see a lot of buying coming in off the 1625 level, perhaps 1650 you can call this. And then heading into the open, well, with the market, dived off right away. Ended up making for a nice bounce initially. I ended up catching this early on. Hey, if you're following just a couple of trades heading into the open, it gives you a better ability to try and catch the faster move, or at least the more minute details that you wouldn't have otherwise if you were very jumpy going from stock to stock to stock from our list, once the market opened up. So, I said this to all of us that messaged me, private messaged me in Insider Room earlier this morning. I'm looking at a couple of trades here. FSL, I'm looking at Riot. Those are volatile enough. I'm only speaking for myself when I say that. I'm not recommending those in particular to level, 1 or 2 traders, but at least it's to say with those two stocks, those are level 3, level 4 stocks minimum. Right, it's like a level God knows what, right? But it's to say they're volatile enough to the point where I'll be occupied for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It gives me a better chance if I just stick on those two, or maybe even just one, like FCEL, I'll have a better ability at catching the better move. So with FCEL, after the market opened up, nonetheless, I ended up catching the bounce on this trade right from the 1550 level. Again, much like yesterday, I think it was on ACB. It was one of my better trades, just catching the dead cat bounce earlier on this morning. Ended up eventually shaking around the 16 level. I ended up losing some of that profit, trying to go long, trying to go short afterwards. I stayed away from this trade afterwards. It was kind of my motto inside the trading room. It was like just the fact that it was so volatile. Just you're playing with fire, so you want to stay away from that after a certain point, and rightfully so. It ended up providing us a great short opportunity a bit later on, but even from there, it became pretty choppy. So yeah, this FCEL trade, just daily trade, it was one that we had on our list from this morning, from yesterday. Just wanted to go over it pretty quick. And that leads me to Riot here. Riot, Mara, the combo between the two. And with that, I'll jump to Bitcoin in a second. So, with Riot, we ended up seeing, Riot make a big push in pre-market once again. And of course, after the market opened up, perhaps after a pullback, ended up taking off, right? And shot up like a missile, broke over 25. Beautiful push up. I ended up catching the bounce off 25 on this trade. So, after the open, I was personally more fixed on the FCEL. Riot took off here without me. As it pulled back down, though, 25, between 25 and the opening bell print 24.72, ended up acting as a great catalyst level for this to bounce off of. And as you could see now, it's ended up holding off 25 off this last crazy shake and back up, $1 plus higher. So yeah, heading into the afternoon, it's easy for me to just put this on our main list given the volatility, given this afternoon pop here. So I'll check in with Mara here just in a second, making the same move. And I would imagine just, perhaps with the market pushing up, recovering after the drop off from earlier. But I'll check out Bitcoin right now. So give me a split second here. Charts are going to look a little funky here for a split second. You'll get my Butler Bulldog background. Let's go Bulldogs. All right, let's get the Bitcoin chart up. And with that, here's Bitcoin. So you could see across today's the 8th. We ended up seeing after the market opened up a big drop off. So that's what we ended up seeing within Riot. But Riot ended up making a nice pop back up shortly afterwards. So, you know, it wasn't up until pretty much the 10:30 Eastern time slot here where we ended up seeing Bitcoin make a nice bounce back up right from just about 40,000, a little bit underneath. But man, this thing's really strong. For as much as this dropped off yesterday, that being right here, you know, the back-to-back drops here, I would have thought we would have seen a sharper move all the way down, perhaps. I mean, for as much as Bitcoin moved up the last week and a half, 2 weeks, you have to expect for some crazy shakes. But I mean, man, this is pretty wild to see this drop all the way down, all the way up, break the higher high, and then do the same damn thing twice here. And then it looks to be doing the same thing for a third time right here. So, you know, for the meantime, as much as it's going up, I'm still acknowledging the fact that eventually we're going to see a monster shake, probably like a week or two drop off to where we see like a 30-40% pullback. Not 40%, probably not 40, maybe 25 to 30% pullback. We've seen that on the last bull run from 2017. So, you know, it's very possible for right now. It's still looking pretty strong though. So God bless, I'll take it. All right, that's the Bitcoin Minute. Let's jump back to my live screen here. Butler Bulldog background should be back on my live platform now. Right? For all of us inside the trading room, should be good to go, right? John, Norman, Debbie, good. Cool. Perfect. All right, so with that in mind, let's just keep it moving, though, folks. We have Ride on our list here. Mara, I guess, will slip on our list here as well. And here, really, we'll just kind of skim down the percent gainers and losers list here. We haven't really even done that just yet. So we did a quick summary so far. LMFA, we spoke about. Cnet, let's jump to here pretty quickly here to start. So Cnet ended up making a nice push. I mean, it was more so into the pre-market or market open, you know, after 9 o'clock, ended up making a push from 250, took off. So after the open, did pretty much the same thing, popped all the way up towards the high of the day, 475. You know, now you're getting your little bounce off 3. So for as much of a level 3 was from earlier, breakout level, you know, holding pretty well here as support, bounced up 36 cents. If you were in that trade, if you're in it right now from 3, congrats, pretty good trade. Just trading a lot of volume at this point, so I'm not expecting much more from here. So that's why I just say that I'd look to get out pretty soon if you were in that trade. So for the meantime, we'll kind of pass. All right, Jagex, Jaguar, we talked about just before. We're going to skip over that. I mean, it's on our list already, so skip over it in that sense. But all right, CMRX. Now we'll just skim through. That's it. APDN got halted like 2 times on the way up. Oof, it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. Well, exactly what I said it was going to do from earlier inside the trading room. So, you know, I said to you folks just before inside the live trading room here inside Cyber Group, you know, APDN, for as much as this got halted on the way up, we knew this was going to get halted on the way down, or at least pull back sharply. So, you know, got halted, like 5-6 times on the way up here. I didn't touch this thing. I mean, if anyone jumped in and scalped this, ended up going in and out fast, you're playing with fire. Kind of like I was saying before with FCEL. But the difference is that FCEL is like a very high float stock. This is a much lower float stock. So, you know, if you end up trying to get in here off the tippy top expecting more, well, look what happened once it ended up getting halted on the way down. It got halted at 2:21 Eastern time, got reopened up 10 minutes later, like, you know, $1.50 lower. All right, so at this point, this one's pretty much done. Let's see what else we got here. I saw Fausto call out PTE from earlier today, just readjusting my mic there. Popped up earlier heading into the late morning, early afternoon. Kind of died off here now, though, fortunately. Nice level 1. It was like a nice level 1 to 2 trade from earlier, definitely. LGHL, you're probably going to get a small bounce on this if it could break over 350, but, you know, pretty similar just before, like we were saying with Cnet, like it's like traded a lot of volume. It's just exhausted. Let's keep it going. I feel like a lot of us are exhausted after today from yesterday. I mean, pretty much, you know, you wouldn't have expected the volatility after New Year's, but man, we were kind of smack right in the middle in the face with it. In a good way, though, of course, right? I mean, hey, if we're able to get our profits pretty early and just finish up, no problem. Or at least if we're just sticking around, it provides even more opportunity and make more money. But yeah, for the meantime here, FT, another trade, like I was saying before, I missed out on this. I wrote this in the chat board. I was pretty lazy off 7 here. I wasn't really looking to take a trade heading into this meeting, but It ended up making the pop. It tested underneath 7 earlier, held, and then it made the move back up over 7. And it ended up providing as a really good opportunity, like just over 50-cent trades. So, that's what I mean. Like, this is the type of volatility that you embrace. And it still ended up making a nice move up. And now at this point, for as much as it moved up, I'm not expecting this to hold. I'm not expecting this to make another run up higher up to 8. So, if anything, I'd expect this to break below 7 again and probably make a lower low. But we'll see. If not today, then maybe Monday or Tuesday next week, perhaps. Actually, I will say maybe one of us will copy and paste the news here already for me here as I'm talking, but I feel like this stock, the news out on this, I feel like they're affiliated with Bitcoin mining now. I could be wrong on that. If that's the case, if they're going to have a sharper move with Bitcoin, better correlation with it, like it does with Riot and Mara, then I'll stand corrected there. And if that's the case, then perhaps we'll see it make another move similar, kind of like BTBT, right? Bit Digital. This certainly gained our trust over the last 2 weeks. So that's what I mean in that regard. Any company now that has any affiliation with Bitcoin mining or anything in that sense, like Riot or Mara does, then yeah. Greg B posting inside our live trading room here. So basically, they're announcing that China's Copyright Protection Center has accepted the company's application for applied blockchain technology-related software copyrights. I'm not going to copy and paste that inside YouTube, but that's the news right there. I appreciate that, Greg, for all of us inside the live trading room. Yeah, but getting back to BTBT, FTFT, that makes sense there, right? So FTFT nonetheless. Yeah, nice trade from earlier today. Definitely keep it on your side list going forward, though. I'd say. APTN just, I think, got halted. ACST here, cheapy, pushing up a little bit. Nice, cute move. RESN looking pretty cute too. But, this one actually worth watching, though. I like this one so far heading into the afternoon. For as much as it ended up moving up over and under 5, false breakout, it ended up making a nice, strong recovery here. So, hey, kind of a dark horse pick here. I'll kind of slip this on the bottom of our list here at the end of it all. But the RESN, I don't mind putting on. Maybe we'll make a pop over 5, more volume coming in off that level, to make the bigger breakout. Pump and dump stock here, IPDN. Pushed up from earlier today, moved up to a high of 332, kind of pulled back though. Yeah. All right, we'll just kind of skim through one more time, folks, just through some other familiar names on the gainers list. Listen, we ended up going through a bunch of other stocks, reviewing them pretty quick. So I dived into this pretty late. We'll see what else we can get. Pull a nice push heading into the afternoon so far. Maybe we'll check out Sun W. My scanner's refreshing on me here. Riot, I guess we kind of covered already. QD, this one is looking pretty interesting. It's like a really slow level 1 stock, I might say. Might be like watching the grass grow if it doesn't break out here. We'll skip over. See if there's anything a little bit more exciting, right? All right. Maybe we'll come back to this at the end. The GRNQ perhaps, and then we'll hop over to the losers list. Not much going on here. FTech. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list. Folks, if there's anything else, though, in the meantime, up, down, left, or right, I'll just get ahead of it, say it right now. Just type it in the chat boards across the trading room, across YouTube, Facebook Live. Let me know. Man, SRPT, it's funny because I spoke about this stock probably, it was some point in time, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, using it as an example of wow, you check in with a stock in a long time, you see how high in price it's gone. We used to trade the stock years and years and years back. Well, we might be trading the stock at some point in the near future if it ends up continuing to drop off like it is today. Obviously, news came out in pre-market this morning, or rather in the after hours yesterday, big drop off. But nonetheless, it looks like it wants to push lower heading into the close. So, albeit pretty expensive, but I'll put this on our main list. SRPT looks like fairly liquid order book for an $82 stock. I'd use the Fausto slogan here, 1 share on this type of trade, just given the price, and essentially the volatility too. This definitely is pretty fast moving stock, even though it seems to be kind of choppy right now. You just zoom in on the chart, the stock's still moving 15, 20 cent bars per minute. All right, bunch of stuff hard to borrow otherwise here. The SLDB trade, still somewhat tradable. Ended up popping up from earlier, pulling back down. It seems like it wants to break lower, but I feel like it's already made such a big move. It's not really trading a whole lot of volume, though, across the whole day. It's like trading 2 million shares on average, 3 million shares right now. I mean, you might call that a lot, but probably compared to its float, compared to probably what we see out of a lot of these other stocks we've put on our list so far, it's not really a whole lot. Leads me to say there could be a lot more room to go. So SLDB, all right, we'll slip on there too. All right, what else we got, folks? June's calling out DDD as a short. Scott's saying RSCF here, moving up nicely. We'll get to those in just a second there, folks. All right. Jinko Solar, JKS. See, like that's the difference here. SRPT is more expensive than this. It has a tighter spread, more volume on the book. I'd rather that than this. Smith & Wesson, for as much as it moved up yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago that was, dived off, and then I guess once again this morning, pre-market or after the open. All right, folks, I think that just about does it from my end here. I'm going to check out Benzinga Pro on my other monitor, I guess, and jump to the chat board. INFY at the high of the day right now, up over 5%. Moving up pretty well. I do like the trend. I'll kind of write this down for the meantime. I'll probably slip it on here at the end. All right, so from June here, from June to begin, we have DDD, very tradable stock. The hell, are you kidding me? This is like a carbon copy move today as it made yesterday. You kidding me? I mean, to a very fair degree, folks, right? Ran up across the whole morning, across most of the afternoon, early on at least. And then by 1 o'clock, shortly after, dived off. And then in the afternoon, ran up. Today, steady trend all the way up. Perhaps by like 11:45, earlier into the day today, dived off. Bouncing right now from a whole number. Looks like it wants to make the same damn move. Are you kidding me? That's like crazy. Like that just took me like aback for a second there when I put that up on the chat board. I'm like, it's like a carbon copy. Are you kidding me? Bonnie's asking there was good news this morning on it as well. All right, so I'll look into that in just a moment, Bonnie. But actually, given the volatility here, I wouldn't mind slipping this on our list here too. The one thing that's actually kind of like putting me off from putting this on our list is the spread, the lack of liquidity. It's like just a really volatile stock. So I'll say this: if you made money on this trade across the last couple of days, if you're a level 4 or 5 trader, you know who you are. So I'd put that on your main list at that point. It's tradable but very volatile. From Norman, he's saying the LMFA is at the high of the day. Yeah, that was on our side list, right? So you know what? That's why we kind of put that on our side list. We come back to that at the end. And you know what? While I'm at it, I'm in a good mood. We'll slip the INFY on our list here too. See if it ends up continuing up at least. It's on a nice trend. All right, folks. So that just about does it from my end here. All right. I think that does it all together, I should say. All right, so for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, that is, make sure that you folks like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel. As always, that's youtube.com/cybertradingu. The banner below, though, make sure that you look to sign up for our trial if you haven't already. That's Monday to Friday right here in the live Cyber Group trading room. For all of us inside our trading room right now, give me a quick moment. I'm going to copy and paste the picks. I got a coaching session I'm going to jump onto in just a moment. I'll be back on the mic, though, at 3:30 myself to wrap things up heading into the end of the week. Talk to you soon.